So we've shrank down all the pieces, and just because I'm not entirely sure what software we're going to be using for doing vector graphics at the REM, whether it's Illustrator or Inkscape or whatever, I've just taken a logo using Inkscape and I've extruded it, and I'm just going to press it into the center of the puzzle here. I'm just going to roughly center it here, and we're going to take a quick side view of it. So we're going to say that's okay. Right there. Oh, and you know what? I shouldn't have done that. So I'm just going to go back, and hopefully that undid the move. Yes, it did. So we're just going to press M. We're just going to bring it up like this. This is a bit of an intricate logo, so unfortunately it does not exactly move very quickly, but it is possible to do it. So I'm just going to put it right here, like so, and we're going to center it, like that. And we now have to view this from the side. And to do that, I need to see where my view cube has gone here. So I'm just going to zoom in and hopefully, oh wait, view cube's just off to the side here. I guess I've made my window a little bit too wide here. So let's shrink that down a touch and see if we can't fit the whole thing on here. Excellent. So we're going to flip this over to the side now. And of course, this body here is, this is 1.5 centimeters thick, but there's only 7 millimeters from here to here, and I really don't want this cutting in too far, so I'm basically going to move this up by 5.5 millimeters altogether, so 6.6, but I want this to be 5.5 instead. That way I still have at least 0.5 centimeter of plastic here, and it's not going to cause my logo to be too weak or anything like that, like so. And the only other thing I'm going to do now is we're going to press OK here, and then we have to go to Modify and Combine, except this time we want Cut, like so. My target body, of course, is the base itself, and then the rest of this, unfortunately, we have to kind of zoom in on a little bit. Of course, you guys will just do this with your own name and your own logos, which is perfectly fine. But I just have to put this in quickly. So we go click and click. And this is just in case the logo, if you do press one into your puzzle, if it's made up of disjointed bodies like mine happens to be, you just have to zoom in and make sure that you've selected everything. And I believe I have now. So we're just going to zoom out and make sure that that's all right. Yes, it is. Looks pretty centered there, so it might be off by a little bit, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. And we're going to go OK. There we go. And so if we view that from the side, you'll see it's been cut in. That looks nice. So the last thing we need to do is now go in and basically just do the exporting of the pieces. So you'll notice here, and again, this is really more for the Lulzbot 3D printer than it is for the Tinkerine, because the Tinkerine has quite a large printing bed on it. But I'm going to try and arrange some of these pieces so that they don't take up quite as much space here. So I'm going to select this body now, and we're going to rotate it up, because that's kind of mostly the direction that that piece is. It's an up and down, so I'll put it there. Let's see. We'll press OK on that. Go to Move, and we'll click on this piece. Often, if you're limited in the size of your 3D print bed, which most of you probably shouldn't be, but just in case you are, it's often a good idea to just kind of arrange your pieces. And because we know that the print bed is at least slightly larger than one of these squares here, I'm just going to go and place the pieces as much as I can into the one area here. So it looks like now, because I managed to fit the pieces all in one of these 14 by 14 centimeter squares and the base fits in there, I think I can actually get all my printing done in basically 2 batches. And actually, if I strike up both of my printers, then it looks like I should be able to get this done in a couple of hours. So now we've got our pieces arranged. We are going to export for printing here. And so now we're going to go to 3D print. And we're going to go to refinement is high, good. We don't want to send this to a 3D printing utility, so I think that's good there. Select one component or a body to 3D print. So let's go to that. And we've got a high number of triangles there. So we should be able to 3D print. And this, we're going to call this TriSquare P1. Like that. And we're just going to follow through the exact same process for everything here. So, good, everything's the way we want it. So we'll click on that, press OK. And when it asks us about any of that, we're going to go TriSquare P2. And we're just going to follow this process again and again. The only big one I'll do here quickly is the base. So let's go File, 3D Print. We'll click this one. This will take a while because it's got, as you can see, 82,000, almost 8, well, roughly 82,000 triangles in it. That just basically means that the text kind of thing requires a greater amount of precision. So I'll call that TriSquare base. And I'll just do this with the rest of the pieces, and then we can quickly look at what the STL files look like in preview. So everything's exported. I'm just going to shrink this down and show you the STL files. You should just be able to double click them and preview will open them up, but I have to go through a slightly different process. So I'm going to go to open with and preview, and this is what your pieces are going to look like. All right, and then there's that. And we can do the same thing and take a quick look at the base here and put that in preview. There we go. So it looks like everything managed to get carved in and everything, so that worked out fine. So basically it's time to get printing.